Hello, I hope this finds you well. If you are watching this video, then you are starting the onboarding process for your complementary analysis. So this is the screen that you should be on. You should have received a link from me, and this is the login screen that should populate whenever you click on that link. If it does not look like this, then you're likely on the wrong login screen, and we will want to get to this. So refer back to the email, find the link that I sent you that is to initiate the onboarding process, and use that link. It does matter because there's some certain workflows and how I have things set up to onboard that will be very important for you especially. Before I hop into this might get a little lengthy just as I go through all the sections. I always advocate and propose that people have an extension, a Chrome extension, or I don't know what it is for all the different browsers, but whatever it is to speed up the video to where you can maybe watch this at 1.5 times speed, where you're still getting all the information, you're getting all the process and the guidance, but it's a little quicker. So if you don't do that, pause this video. If you're using Chrome, go get the video player speed controller extension that allows you to speed this up. But again, once you're here, we will begin the process to get an account set up. So on the screen, you'll just want to enter your email, make a password, enter your name, and make sure this box is here that you agree to the terms of service and privacy policy, and then create. Okay, I've done this a couple times, so it's not going to let me use this email, so I'll have to do, I think this is my other one. All right, let's try this one. Okay, perfect. So it's going to let me go through with that. So this is the main starting point whenever you get your account set up. So these are the areas up here that we're going to cover. Family, net worth, income, saving, expenses, goals, risk, and Vault. Vault being, this is the place where you can upload digital documents that are supporting the data gathering process. But here, just start with entering your basic information. You can click on the card to customize the information. That's going to go for all these sections up here. So you can go in here, change your birthday to whatever you need to. You can keep this 90. This is really for retirement purposes as far as how long we're going to plan out in regards to the financial planning process for running scenarios and stuff. And then you can change your residence state right there. So once you do that, you also want to click save. So don't exit out without saving, or else it won't save it. So once you get all that information, you can close out. If there's not a partner or a co-client, you can exit out of this and remove it, or you can click in here and again update the partner information. If you do have any other members in your household, in your family, you can click this add participant button, and it's going to populate some menu options for you to again add that information. But once you're done, you can click next. This is the net worth screen. This is where we are going to add different accounts and assets and liabilities so that I can see your net worth breakdown, but also it gives me a good glimpse into the diagnostic of assets and liabilities. So a lot of financial planning software have the ability to link accounts through a data aggregator service, and that's the quickest way to do it. It makes my job a little easier, but I understand if someone, or if you don't want to link your information, if you're a little hesitant about that process, at this stage in the complementary analysis, or if you just have security concerns, that comes up quite a bit. I will say that Right Capital has top tier, in my opinion, security protocols and procedures in place to protect data, but still everyone has their preference and what they're willing to do. If you're going to link accounts, you can click on this link account. It's going to pop up a menu where you can search the institution of the account that you want to link. You can go here and search the specific institution. For example, a lot of people have Fidelity 401ks or Fidelity IRAs. You can go that, click, and it's going to pop up a way to, if I go here, to log in. It's going to give you a pop-up window to log in via your username and your password. So you're logging in with those credentials through this portal. You can also search by URLs too if you're having trouble, because there's a lot of institutions that share similar names. So you just want to make sure you're using the right name. So do that for all your assets accounts. If you want to do it for liabilities as well. One thing about the liabilities, I didn't put on my information that I specifically include liabilities and debt, mostly because I don't get into the student loan analysis very much. But if you have some basic debt that you want to include in here, we can fold that into the net worth picture, but also if there's any diagnostic. You can feel free to link your student loans in here. I just won't address it in the complementary analysis if there's certain payment plans or strategies to optimize that. Scrolling down, there's some spaces to put property. Don't worry about the insurance, but if you're having trouble linking it because there are security protocols on the back end, each institution has their own protocols and those connections break pretty frequently. You can come over here to click add account and manually add specific accounts, assets, liabilities, things of that sort. So do your best. Don't feel like you got to do it all, or don't get too frustrated if it's not linking. As long as you have PDF statements that you can upload later on, as long as there's some information regarding an account, an asset, a liability that you can upload to me, I can come in here and manually input it and we're good. So don't get overwhelmed. Don't beat your head against the wall. Don't spend a significant amount of time on this. Do what you can do. What is the easiest and seamless process for you to get that information in here and then move on to the next thing. Income is the next section for us. You can adjust salaries. So salaries are obviously most common. So these are defaulted in here. You can click on the salary card and adjust it, put the annual amount in there. If you have any consistent increases, you can adjust that. If not, you can zero that out and just be sure to click save. Don't mess with the Social Security cards. You can leave those. But if there's any other sources of income that you have, if you have some self-employment income, if you have a side consulting business or some other self-employment income, you can click that and adjust the card accordingly. Again, some of these options can get a little tricky. So do the best that you can and then upload the information that will be super helpful. And then we can talk about the rest. If there's anything that I need to know when getting back in here and editing and updating and tweaking, you can just let me know that information and I'll take care of it. So I think there was one other. Oh, there's a lot of other drop down in this other. So don't forget to look at this. This might be pertinent if relevant if you have bonus income. So some people get pretty consistent bonuses you might get like 10% bonus on a consistent basis. And this is a way for you to input that using this line item. So next, savings. Again, do your best. If there is consistent saving that you're doing, like in a retirement account, like a 401k or an IRA, make sure you note that. The 401k gets kind of tricky because they build in a lot of flexibility to list how much you're saving, but also how much is getting matched by your employer. Do your best, how much you're contributing, if it's a percent of salary, which most of it is, and then you can try to approach the matches if exactly how much you get matched. But if not, I can tweak this. I can update this based on what I see and what you tell me. There are some other options for saving if you're doing any Roth IRA, backdoor Roth IRAs, things of that sorts. If there's HSA saving, 529 saving, and if there's any other taxable or other, probably not these types of saving, but if it relates, if it's something that relates to you, then you can input that. But if not, again, let me know and I would be happy to do that if it's too much. Expense information, I love to have a glimpse into expenses for the cash flow section of the complementary analysis, but I also understand that a lot of people may not know, at least on a granular level, what their expenses are. There's a couple options to do this. One, you could leave it blank if you just don't know, and I can always reverse kind of engineer and back into what your actual living expenses are based on how much you're paying in taxes, which I'll talk about taxes here in a little bit, based on kind of debt payments, based on how much you're saving, if there's any other giving and things like that. So there's a way to back into living expenses. But if you do know or have some idea of your living expenses, there's a detailed worksheet option that you can click here to manually enter some expenses that have not already been entered anywhere else in this process of onboarding. And then you can just click save. Or if you have a spreadsheet, or if it's just easier to do a spreadsheet, just open a spreadsheet and just put down what your consistent expenses are that are to your knowledge, and I can go from there. There is an option to add other expenses too if there's any specific expenses that you want to add. Next is goals. Don't feel like you have to get all your goals in here. This is, again, something we're going to talk about on our next call. We're going to go over kind of vision, values, and goals. So if there's anything you want to put in here just to make sure you have in here, just to start getting stuff out of your head, maybe on paper and down so we don't forget it, feel free to again, play around, add goals, amounts, timelines, things like that. But again, we'll talk about goals more on our next call. But again, you have the flexibility to look at any of these and add those goals to this section. Next is risk. This is super helpful as it just is a conversation starter. This risk questionnaire, especially as it comes to like investments, is super helpful. If you're a couple, feel free. If you're very similar and you share everything and invest all your assets in the same way, feel free to take one questionnaire together, and we will just talk about how that applies to both of you. But not very long. Might take 5 minutes to do this questionnaire, maybe 10. But again, it's a good conversation starter, and it's a good resource for me when looking at and evaluating investments and just seeing where you're at, as opposed to what you scored on your risk questionnaire. Couple that with conversation, and then couple that with how you're invested. Is there any opportunity, or what does that look like? So next, finally, here is the vault. We have all these different folders for you to upload supporting documentation. This is where I mentioned earlier, if there's anything that PDFs that we need to upload to help me. I again would love if you have these available to get these uploaded. I did try to go in and make it easy for you find the information that you need to upload. So if you click on cash flow, pay stubs, if you could upload the most 2 recent pay stubs for each person, that would be super helpful as I break down cash flow, look at savings, look at deductions, look at everything else. Budget and expense information, if you have that spreadsheet, you can upload it here. Savings account statements, so if you have any savings accounts or any other accounts at like a bank, that would be helpful. I don't think many people use CDs, but if you have something else at a banking institution, or if you have savings accounts, that would be helpful to upload there. Stock and equity compensation, any plan documents, grant documents, brokerage documents, anything related to your equity, really, you can upload here in the respective folder. Tax documents, most recent federal and state tax return, super helpful. If you happen to have your W-2s along with that, you can upload it as well. That just gives me a little more clarity on the breakdown of income. But again, if you don't, it's not a big deal. And then if there's any other important tax documents you think I should have, you can upload those there. Any investment statements, again, this maybe feel like double work. It allows me to double check what was previously uploaded and compare and contrast. Sometimes there's just some stuff that I can't see with the account that's linked, such as investment options, fees, specific funds, transaction history. So a lot more granular information, I'd say, with the actual investment statements. 401ks, IRAs, taxable brokerage accounts, whether that's individual, joint trust, any statement, any information regarding to investments that you have, if you could upload that here, that would be extremely valuable. And then any other documents you may have that would be helpful, you can just drop in here, just a catch-all. So anyway, that is it. I know it seems maybe like a long process, but it is what's needed to get this process going, so I can, again, get to work and start on that analysis for you. One final thing. So once you click that complete button on the onboarding process. This is where it's going to redirect you on the main dashboard of your account. So in here, you don't have to worry about this snapshot. This has my default template in here of what I'm going to build out. But if you need to update or adjust anything, or you realize you input the wrong information, you can navigate to this profile option on the menu. If you click on profile, it's going to bring you back to that same screen of the net worth when you were going through the onboarding process, and you can still add or adjust or manually input any of that same information, or if you need to tweak it, or again, you realize it just got linked or inputted wrong, you can do that. Again, you can adjust goals, income, savings, expenses, family. So all that same information you can revisit if you need to adjust it or realize it needs to be updated. So that's the one thing I wanted to hit on. The ellipsis, stock plans, there shouldn't be anything in here. And then this folder is the vault. So if you need to return to the vault or upload additional information, if I maybe got back to you and said, hey, I'm missing this document, can you upload that to the vault? This is how you would get to the vault from the main dashboard. It's just this folder icon. You click on that and you can have access to those same folders and same subfolders as the onboarding process. So anyway, I just wanted to hit on that just as a way to revisit, and if you need to log back in and finish uploading some information. So hope this was helpful. Again, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. And I will, once you submit this, I'll get notified and I will follow up with the next steps as far as what needs to happen moving forward, which one of the things is going to be completing another form that kind of goes over goals, values, and vision for you and your family and or family. And then after that's completed, I'll get you the link to schedule the next call. So anyway, hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any other thoughts or questions or concerns, and I will be in contact. Thanks. Bye.